What's up, guys? Wagner Reviews back with another review video, and today we are going to be talking about the new ADHD album from Joyner Lucas, 2020 new LP that's been long awaited for about 2 years now. And let's just get right into it. This album doesn't really show a lot of potential going forward at all because he goes down paths that have been dead ends for decades and decades. Like the path where your flow is late, where your delivery comes late in terms of how it matches up with the instrumental. And he does that on Devil's Work in a lot of these songs, which I don't think is very cool, which he's making it try to sound cool. And I don't think it's really smart idea either because it hasn't worked before. Why would it work now? The features on this album are so incredibly bankrupt. Yes, you have a Young Thug feature, but if you're gonna have a Young Thug feature and the opportunity to have a Young Thug feature because he wants to do this song with you, at least make the Young Thug feature have some flavor. Make Young Thug's verse better. Let him have more of a part in the song because that's what musical features are all about. Working together. And this was a collaboration song, but it really felt like Joyner was really taking over on this song. And sure, it was Joyner's album, but even in Joyner's album, Young Thug taking over would have been better than Joyner taking over. Because if you've listened to this album, you know why. But some of this album has the lamest instrumentals. Like on Revenge, he changes up the instrumentals 3 or 4 times through verses, through choruses, and that would be cool if you stuck to it for at least a minute or so. But he just keeps changing it with every line he spits, and that's not a good thing to do. On Lotto, he approaches a dead end lyrical route of I have more money than you, I'm better than you, I take the kids on lean, make them all clean, and give them all soda, is one of the worst lines of 2020. If that's not including the cringy Eminem line, I'm a candle, I'll go out if you blow on me. But anyway, this album just doesn't show potential at all. I think Joyner tried to do something here that hasn't ever worked. Some of its lyrics and flows were cool, but I mean, it didn't work. Isis is one of the songs that I think is probably the best on the album. It presented a lot of cool flows, right? And Logic part being Logic, he wasn't half bad on this track. But then a lot of the cringy lyricism and the instrumental changes were kind of its undoing for me, and that's why this song wasn't better on my list. On Revenge, he literally goes sad piano route and starts yelling over it, starts rapping over it, which it didn't even have a rap theme about it. One thing that relates to rap, it didn't have that, and he just starts rapping so aggressively over that beat, and it doesn't work, right? Because literally you're taking two things that are kind of opposite, not total opposites, and mashing them together until they fit. A it's like biting a corner off a puzzle piece to make it fit. Like, come on. You can't cut this many corners on an album. The production's crappy, and a lot of the instrumentals didn't work with his vocal technique, which is to aggressively rap over beats. Isis, I like that song because it did kind of fit, but a lot of these songs are him singing in the verses and then in the chorus, or him singing in the chorus and then in the verses he's just aggressively rapping, and that that beat would have worked for the chorus, and it did work for the chorus, but it's not working for the rapping on the verses. So that's what he needs to work on. Just better production, right? Better features if you're going to do any at all. Better lyricism. Not have it be not as cringy. Make it different. Stick with the theme, but you can still go out of this region where you're saying, oh gosh, people judge me, but it's all because of my ADHD. You can't blame it on that. A lot of people have it. Joyner, that's all I'm going to say on that because I don't want to be too offensive. It might be just a him thing, but come on. Almost like 90% of people have it. So you can't use that as an excuse to say this is justifying my behavior. It's not. The song ADHD, probably my favorite on the album. It's cool because he's not yelling, but that's really the only thing I like about it. On I Love, makes an instrumental switch every 3 seconds again, which isn't really good for the album at all. This album didn't show much potential, but it's a bump in the road. A lot of artists, their debut album isn't as good as all their other stuff. I hope that's what happened with Joyner Lucas. Anyway, this album, I'm going to give it a 1 to a 2 out of 10. Just because of all the flaws in it. Just not a very good album. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed.